Hello people, this is Spellbinder with this update on the S510 Codex Alimentarius takeover of our food to make us into, well, acceptors of the poisons that they may want to put into the food, with Monsanto as the head of it. This is pretty bad. The talking points to oppose S510 is as follows. This is what the House passed, the so-called but misnamed Food Safety Modernization Bill, House of Representative 4739, in July 2009, sending it to the Senate, where it is being considered as S510. The Senate Help Committee mark up the bill in November 2009, and the manager's amendment were offered at the beginning of April 2010. This is where this vital part of it began, was in April 2010. The manager's amendment do not satisfy the citizens' petition, which demands, and this is what we demand. We demand the rule of interpretation that no provision of this act shall be deemed to apply A, to any home business, homestead, home or community gardens, small farms, organic or natural agricultural activity, to any family farm or ranch, or C, any natural organic food product, including dietary supplements regulated under the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994, which all of this follows under the Codex Alimentarius. This is all the same. It's all with this UN bill where they want to standardize everything, put everything under corporations, put your vitamins under pharmaceuticals, and so everything goes up. They make money, they get rich, we get unhealthy and die slowly. And therefore we get illnesses where we have to be treated, insured for, and make more money for them. Do you really understand what this really is doing to us? I don't think people really understand what this means. It means they're going to make you sick so they can make money. They don't want to keep you healthy. You think the doctors still know anything about their hypocritical oath? My God, they don't even make them take that anymore. They haven't done that in years now. They're told to go out and make money for the pharmaceuticals. Who do you think writes the textbooks for the pharmaceutical companies? The pharmaceutical companies write these books to put into the colleges where medicine is taught, and they learn what the pharmaceutical companies want them to learn. I don't know if that came out right in the beginning or not, but it's what I'm saying. The pharmacies are writing the textbooks for the doctors. Doctors are no longer told how to make natural cures, no longer know how to take natural herbs and make a medicine out of them. All they know how to do is be a drug pusher. They're just a glorified drug pusher, except they're not on a street corner pushing. They're in an office. Isn't that something? That was one of the reasons I wish marijuana would be legalized. That drug, I'm telling you right now, marijuana is a wonder drug from God. And if it was legalized today, we would not have half the elements that we have that they're making oil products into. These pharmaceutical drugs. Actually, it's more than half. I think 90% of everything is created from oil by synthesizing it from oil. They take molecules here and there and they stick them together and it makes something. And then, a lot of this stuff is untested thoroughly, so I don't know what the outcome's going to be. It's like the new, let's take aspartame. Aspartame's a deadly poison. It's made from a neurotoxin that was used in a chemical warfare weapon. And the guy that discovered it was messing with these chemicals. It was in a chemical warfare bomb. And he actually tasted one and goes, that's real sweet. I wonder if I can market that one component of this chemical bomb and make money off of it. And he called it aspartame. Well, now they genetically engineered bacteriums that poop aspartame, literally poop it, and they make aspartame on a grand scale in big vats from bacterium, making this one component of a chemical warfare weapon, a nerve gas, basically. Man. The bill, as written, threatens small farms, homes, and local community food production with onerous rules that, while perhaps appropriate for industrial food processes, like the egg thing that happened, done by these industrial farms that produce. I've told you this before in other videos. They put a chicken in a 12 by 12 cage, and the whole life that chicken lives in there and produces eggs. They got a little thing in the back that's like a it looks like something you'd use in a cartoon. It rolls the egg, it hits this little thing, it's a little trough, and the egg rolls down, and it goes down and down and down from all these stacked cages. They got a chicken in there with an opening in the cage about that big, where it can stick its head out and eat and drink. And that's all that chicken does its entire life. And it's in that filth and everything of its own poop and everything. I'm telling you, this is not what agriculture was supposed to be. Chickens are supposed to be, have range chickens, as they are called. They're supposed to be able to get out, run around, be in the sunlight and everything. If you ever watched Food Inc., the very beginning, they talk about how they raise chickens for your chicken McNuggets, how they raise chickens for KFC, and all these other places. And if you just watch that Food Inc., you will not eat chicken again. The lady that was raising them that came forward and decided to talk because she knew she was going to be turned down by Tyson to have her chickens used anymore because she refused to close them up in a dark room, basically. No more open sides on it where it could get air and light in there. Close it all up like the first farmer they show in the video, that they weren't going to take her product anymore, and she knew she was going out of business. So she came forward and said, this is what they do. And she takes you in there and shows them they're in there like sardines. I mean, they're so fattened by the hormones and stuff that they're injected. And she's now immune to antibiotics. She cannot take antibiotics to cure herself from disease anymore because she became immune to the antibiotics from being around these chickens. And these chickens literally showed them get up, take 2 steps, plop back down. You could hear them plop in the video. I mean, they do that and go boom, because their muscle mass and everything's growing faster than their bones and everything can support it. And they're growing these chickens within 40 days instead of 80 days. These chickens are becoming full grown. It's not a pretty sight. You're eating these hormones and everything too. And we have no idea what they're going to do to you. I mean, I stopped eating KFC. I stopped eating any fast food chicken because of that. And then don't let me into the hamburger meat where they got a guy that makes dog food out of the scraps for hamburger meat. And now they found a way to spray ammonia on those. Well, I guess I am going to tell you. And and now after spraying the ammonia, it kills all the salmonella off of it. And then they're able to use that now as an additive into the hamburger so they can give you those triple pounders and stuff hamburgers for the same price because it's basically dog food product they purified. This is not a good thing, people. I'm telling you, we are being hoodwinked in more than one way. And don't get me into the TSA or anything about it. It's just wrong. Let's put it this way. As an example of the type of controls imposed, Section 106 provides in part for the regulation issue to be kept secret from the public in the interest of national security. Yes, you're not supposed to know this because it's that bad. It's national security. The Secretary may determine the time and manner in which the guidance documents issued under paragraph 1 are made public. In other words, they're going to keep all this stuff from S510 from being public until they feel you are ready to accept it. And all you have to do is watch Food Inc. and you already know what they're going to keep from you, and it's not good. 4. The bill was written, in effect, incorporated in harmonization provisions of the discredited Dietary Supplement Safety Act S 3002. You gotta watch it, you gotta look these up, and actually calls upon FDA to recommend harmonization of American nutritional freedoms with Codex Alimentarius restrictions. Section 404, nothing in this act shall be construed in a manner inconsistent with any treaty or international agreement to which the United States is party. Section 306, C5, recommendations on whether or how to harmonize requirements under the Codex Alimentarius. Codex Alimentarius, a United Nations commissioned, administered, and funded by the World Health Organization and Food and Agriculture Organization, promulgates increasingly industrialized food standards and guidelines. Harmonization of the U.S. food production with Codex standards and guidelines represents a series of degradation of the U.S. food standards. This bill mandates that harmonization to be detriment of the U.S. health and agricultural standards. In other words, they supersede whatever we got already that's supposed to protect us. The vast majority of recent food safety scandals in the U.S., E. coli on fresh spinach, melamine in dairy products, salmonella in peanut butter, were all linked to industrial agribusiness practices. Large-scale operations clearly warrant more federal food safety oversight and strict enforcement act. What it does not need is a one-size-fits-all approach to the purpose of unfair costs and onerous reporting on our safest farms, local, family, and organic farms. They're the safest. They do not do this. They don't have what I just told you about, the birds in the cage. They got ranch wandering animals and birds. I mean, the regulation fee is $500 regardless of farm size, followed by a blanket application of complicated monitoring and tractability standards and direction fines for paperwork and infrastructure. $500,000 or more for the first time offense will drive small farmers out of business. This is what they're up to. 8. Federal Recall Authority and feds represent a regressive tax on small farms and farmers, which are necessary to prevent food contamination, since virtually all food contamination outbreaks are the result of large-scale factory farms and massive food processing facilities. Cost of the program, Section 401, $825,000 of taxes in the first year. Do you people really want that? Do you want to have to pay for such nonsense that these people are coming up with? I'm telling you right now, if you go along and don't fight this right now, you will not be able to grow a tomato plant in your yard without being under these regulations by the UN. The United Nations with lost is going to make you lost in your freedoms. I don't know what else to tell you about this. This is the main part of this one article I read. This is just one of probably thousands of articles out there telling you, stop listening to these government officials telling you we gotta have food safety. Well, yeah, but they gotta change it so it's just the industrial farms. Like I said, watch the documentary Food Inc. INC. And you will see what they are doing with food, and you will not want any part of that food. You want your food to come from a small farm down the street where they take care of their animals, they love their animals, and they're just not a commodity. That's what these farms, factory farms do, is make it a commodity. They're no longer a peaceful, loving farm, a guy running his farm. This was from healthfreedomusa.org. Just go to that. You'll find these articles there. I gotta get off here. I'm running out of time now. But this is what is coming down the pike at you. You're being poisoned by these hormones and these additives in here and these these shots they're giving them to keep them from getting disease because they got them in there like sardines. Until next time, this is Spellbinder saying, be good at it, and do your research. Good day.